Hey everyone, Steven here, and welcome to my little library of horrors. Well, it's been a little while since I've uploaded. I know I said my next video was going to be a book review, but it's been just kind of difficult to really sit down and focus on writing my thoughts down for a review lately, so I didn't want to just kind of come on here and try to be on the cuff like I usually am with them. I kind of wanted to write my thoughts down first in a normal review style that I usually did before I started YouTube, and I feel like that would just kind of help me streamline my thoughts better during my reviews. But yeah, it's just been kind of hard to find the time and the motivation and just overall concentration to sit and write a review. So, but I promise I will have that out soon. I'm definitely gonna try harder to work on that. But yeah, so I figured, you know what, February's already over, so why not shoot my wrap up video for what I got this month? And for such a short month, well, technically longer than it normally is with the leap year and everything, I added a lot of really nice titles to my collection, which I didn't think I was going to do, especially after my last haul in January. But, you figure over 100 books, what else can I add at that point? But I actually added some really nice titles, a couple I've been after for a while now, and some other ones I didn't know I wanted until I saw them. So let's jump right into it. So the first couple of books I'm going to showcase are from a trade from my buddy Harry, much like in my last wrap-up video. So Harry, if you're watching, thanks again, man. Always fun trading with you. So let's see. First up is a book I've only recently discovered while shopping online, and I loved the cover right away because it was very detailed. I love the sort of technique the artist used of having the center of the cover have this bright color scheme, and then as it goes out, it's darker and darker colors. So if you happen to be looking, say, from the top of the cover at first, your eyes are drawn to the center. But I'll show you what I'm talking about. And that book is The Alchemist by Leslie H. Whitten. There we go. But yeah, see, I love how it's very like almost a matte black at the top here, and then as you slowly come down, you start to get the shades of the purple, and then we get the red, and then just a very vibrant gold and the jewels in the goblet and everything. I just think that's really awesome. Like I said, I think it's a wonderful technique that really brings your eyes to the center of the cover. So it's got some really nice red edged pages there. So sadly, the reviews I've seen for this says it's more of a political thriller kind of thing, with like a lot of over sexualization, which I don't really care for in a lot of my books. I don't mind, you know, sexuality in my books. I am male. Of course, I should say I am a straight male. I am attracted to women. So obviously, I don't mind when women are being described in a sexual sense as long as it fits the tone of what's happening in the book. Like, if, the character is constantly drooling over some woman in the book and, like, that's her only role in the whole story, it's kind of stupid to me. It just doesn't add anything to me. I'm not somebody that needs that kind of level of, I don't know, what do you even call that? I just don't need it in my books. Like I said, I don't mind it when it's there. Like if it makes it steamy or whatever, sure, I'm all for it. But I mean, when it's like just a constant thing throughout the story, it's just kind of tacky in my opinion. And this was published in '74, so yeah, it's bound to be full of that stuff. So while I may probably never read that, I'm just happy to have it in my collection. Next up is called Childgrave by Ken Greenhall. Pretty simple cover for the most part. A little freaky, but nothing spectacular in my opinion. Next up is something I'm super excited about. So I don't really remember if I mentioned it in my last wrap-up video where I traded with Harry, but we both share a mutual appreciation for Jack Ketchum's work. And Harry has actually been able to meet Ketchum many, many, many times throughout the years, and he's shown me some of like just some absolutely stunning pieces in his collection that I doubt any collector has. To be totally honest, I'm really I'd have to see physical proof of that you have it to say that you had to believe that you have it. But so one thing he traded me was this wonderful copy of Cover by Jack Ketchum. We'll go ahead and pull this back for the step back art here. But what makes me really excited about this copy of Cover is that it's signed. Very, very happy to add another signed copy of Ketchum's work to the collection. But yeah, especially since it's like, I just think it's kind of cool that, you know, Harry was able to like meet him and have that book actually signed by him. It wasn't just some random purchase at a store or online. Like he physically went to meet Dallas and get the book signed. So I don't know. I guess kind of in a way I met him too. I guess, you know, I don't know. I just think it's kind of cool. Next up is called The Playroom by Gloria Murphy. Pretty cool cover. I really like how they made the doll kind of, you know, play with the title of the book. I think that's really cool, and it's not something you really see a lot of in horror covers. Like, you know, it's usually kind of like a smaller title and more artwork focus. So I really love that they made this interact with each other. I think that's really cool. Let's see. Next up, so this one I posted over on my Instagram, Little Library of Horrors, if you want to check out my collection book by book. But when I did, a lot of people raved about it, honestly. Not just about the book itself, but the author, saying he was, you know, really in the masterclass of writing horror. And I've never read anything by this author, but now, after seeing so much praise about him and for him, I'm going to have to change that. And that would be John Ferris and his book, The Fury. Definitely a cool cover. Like I said, I really love when artists use excuse me, something other than black and red and you know, the typical colors for your horror covers. So something like this really nice neon purple, almost pink. And yeah, so I think that's really cool. You know, just the tagline alone, you know, Pet Cemetery, the Floating Dragon, nothing has prepared you for the Fury. So, you know, Pet Cemetery and Floating Dragon, that's two very, very big titles to, you know, try to fill the shoes of. So I'm definitely going to have to check that out if that's the case. But yeah, that was my trade with Harry. But so yeah, again, Harry, if you're watching this, thanks, man. Really appreciate it as always, and looking forward to our next trade. So the next books I have were all bought online. I haven't really had a chance to get to a bookstore. You know, it's just hard when my wife, you know, works such a crazy schedule, and my 2-year-old is not gonna be super, you know, calm browsing through a whole bookstore like I would. So I had to buy these all online, which, again, is kind of a bummer, but what are you going to do? You know, beggars can't be choosers, and, you know, they were good deals. But anyway, next up, we're going to continue the John Ferris train here and go with his work, Nightfall. See, and again, very nice choice of colors here. Again, I don't feel like you get a lot of green, which is weird. You think, you know, with horror, you would get a lot of green and orange, but you really don't, honestly. And very, even rarer, a yellow. So I really like that. Again, I feel like the color scheme is just awesome. Really, really nice color scheme. And I love that his covers are all embossed too, so it's got a really nice feel to it. Uh, let's see. Next up is The Godsend by Bernard Taylor. Interesting cover for sure. Like, I feel like a lot of books around this time were kind of going for that a funky, slanted, you know, title thing. Because let me show off the nice red-edged pages here. And because when was this published? I think it was 1977. So yeah, around the time of like The Auctioneer and there's one other title I can't remember off the top of my head. I don't have it. I kicked myself still for not buying it when I saw it, but one day I will. But yeah, I feel like a lot of titles around the 70s focused on kind of having a little play around with the title placement, I guess I should say. But another really interesting thing about this book is this is probably the earliest sight of step-back art that I have personally seen. You know, you got this really creepy, almost Michael Jackson-esque Raggedy Ann doll here. But yeah, I don't think I've seen step-back art for the 70s at least. This is the first time I've ever seen any step-back art for work that's been published, you know, that far back. So, pretty interesting to me. Next up is one I've been after for a while. Ever since I saw the cover for it, I knew I wanted it. And I finally got it for a super good price. And it honestly, generally looks almost unread. So, that book is The Night Show by Richard Lehman. So very happy to add another Lehman title to the collection. And I believe Jill Bowman did the cover art for this. But yeah, that's just such a wonderful cover. I really love it. And the premise sounds really awesome as well. And another reason that I really wanted it was because sort of like a staple in our town is an old school movie theater that you know, still has like the gargoyle on the front entrance and everything. And, you know, they'll play classic movies along with newer releases through the year. So, like, every summer they play Jaws. Every Halloween they play Halloween and The Exorcist. Every Christmas is Nightmare Before Christmas. So, I've yet to go see any of those yet. But, like, the fact that I can actually go see such classics on the big screen and, like, kind of experience it that way, I really want to make it a point to do that this year. So, who knows? Maybe I'll even film a little bit of it when I go. That'd be kind of cool, I think. Next up was instantly a cover by. I love the cover. Totally got my attention. It's the first of its kind that I've seen. You know, much like that book Class Trip that I showed in a couple videos back, where it's like, oh, you know, you don't really see school buses presented a lot on covers for horror or in general on books. So this is another one of those cases. And it's called Winter Chill by Joanne Fluke. And on this cover, there's a sled. Which again, is just something I have personally never seen on a cover. And I think the cover is just awesome, you know, like the way that it's like all portrayed being shown through a window. So it's almost like you're the one that's looking out the window seeing this, you know, in a first person view. I just think that's so cool. You know, and the premise sounds great. Like, I'm absolutely reading this year. Absolutely 100% getting that to that this year. Might have to wait till winter again, but not in a rush for that. Absolutely not in a rush. Next up is Midsummer by Matthew J. Costello. And I love the cover. Super awesome. Here we go. See if I can kind of get it to focus a little better here. Here we go. But yeah, I love carnival theme. Always have since a kid. And yeah, it very much gives me this the vibe from an old Insane Clown Posse song that I really love called "The Joker's Wild," where basically there's a game show in hell, and Violent J, the lead vocalist of the band, plays the host, and he's just this almost Beetlejuice-esque character, where it's here's your prize, some horrible fate, you're in hell, this is why, like, yeah, it's a good song, honestly. Like, if you like older, like, 90s hip-hop kind of thing, definitely check it out. Like I said, I know a lot of people give them a lot of flack because it was the cool thing to do in the 90s and they were weird or whatever, but a lot of their songs are really story-driven, especially, for horror and everything. Like, they've got a lot of really nice stories in their music, but anyway. Next up is another book that I've really wanted for a long time. Again, mainly for the cover, but I've also listened to the audiobook, so I really knew I wanted it in my collection. And that is The Entity by Frank D. Felitta. And I just really, really love this cover. Like, it's just like, it's so well done. It's just so well done. Like, all the detail, just how realistic it looks. Like, it's genuinely a piece of art, in my opinion. I mean, they all are in their own right, but this is something I would see hanging up in a museum somewhere, honestly, or like an art gallery. And I really love that they put it on the spine of the book too. I definitely think that's pretty cool. But yeah, if you're looking for a really good story about possession and things like that, that's like not The Exorcist or The Shining, absolutely check out The Entity. Wonderful, wonderful story. I guess I shouldn't say wonderful. It's very harrowing and disturbing and actually based on a true story, but it's told wonderfully. So, definitely worth checking out. Let's see. So the next one totally got my attention because, well, what the hell? It's called Demon Fire by Gary L. Holman. Just look at that tagline. Aloha, welcome to hell. It's horror set in Hawaii. I always found it, rare that to find a book set in my state, Vermont. So I know the only one that I knew of before today was the Owl's Fane Horror by, I want to say it's Duffy Harris is the author. I could be wrong, but I'm almost positive it's Duffy Harris. But today, actually, my Instagram post for today was actually set in Vermont as well. I had no idea. So that's really why I love doing that page. Like I said, I find out, excuse me, so many cool things about books that I otherwise probably wouldn't have looked twice at. So, and now I really want to read it because it's like, I guess, a trashy retelling of Harvest Home by Thomas Tryon. And one other book, I can't remember what it was. But anyway, I'll have to check it out. But yeah, Demon Fire is set in Hawaii, so it's definitely pretty cool. Like I said, I don't know of any other horror that was set in Hawaii. A lot of people say it's like one of those so bad it's good kind of books, so I'm always okay with those. Like I've said before, I love a good trashy book once in a while, just to kind of break up the soul crushing of the more grounded horror. But yeah, even the back blurb is like written as a postcard. I'll go ahead and read it. It says, "Aloha from Hawaii. The islands are great, sorry. Aloha from Hawaii. The aliens are great, but who'd have ever thought this tropical paradise was full of ancient gods, witches, and demons straight from hell? We're enjoying the sand, the sun, and the surf, but having evil spirits around can be murder. Dying to come home, glad you aren't here. So, yeah, just super cool. I love the cover. Like I said, I wish it was a little brighter in the color scheme. Like, maybe more of like an orange for the sunset kind of thing. Maybe make it feel a little more tropical, but like I said, other than that, it's a wonderful cover, nice and embossed. It's awesome. So yeah, when I saw that, I was like, okay, I have to have that in my collection. Never heard of that, never heard of the author, but horror set in Hawaii, sign me up. The next one is The Pines by Robert Dunbar. And this cover is gorgeous. Absolutely beautiful cover. Like I said, the video just doesn't do it justice. Like the colors are so vibrant. It's embossed. And there's just so much little detail to it that I love. I love, you see how all down here is like all covered because of all the shadows of the trees, but then you can just see that the sun is still out right around here. I think that's a really nice attention to detail that just really brings the cover up another notch. But yeah, I think it's awesome. It's easily one of my favorite covers in my collection. Apparently it's part of a trilogy. I don't know what the other two are, but yeah, this looks and sounds very interesting, so I probably will eventually get to that. Next up is The Kill Riff by David J. Shao. Very cool cover. Like, this is absolutely one of those very unique covers. Goes right over to the spine as well. Nice wrap around to the spine. Even onto the back a little bit as well. Up here in the back corner here. So yeah, definitely pretty cool. Again, I'm not a major music buff, but from what I've been told, it's not super heavy on musical themes and things like in jargon and things like that, and is actually very good. So I know this has always been kind of like sort of coveted among the paperbacks from Hell collectors. So I'm very happy to have gotten a very good condition copy for a really good price added to my collection. So definitely psyched about that. And last but not least is sort of a repeat here on the channel. If you saw I want to say it was my second haul video where I got like those 70 book club edition horror books. This one may seem familiar to you, but that book is called The Effigies by William K. Wells. Excuse me. And it's a very, very eerie cover. Like, it just definitely makes me uncomfortable. There's something about the eyes, just makes me very uncomfortable. But I like that. It almost reminds me of the needle scene near the end of Dead Space 2. If you know, you know. If you don't know, consider yourself very lucky. Don't go look it up. It's brutal. But yeah, one really neat thing about this is it's again kind of like the Kill Riff there, but on a much grander scale. It is a full wraparound art here. So you can kind of, trying to get my eye through it here, see if I can. There we go. Yeah, kind of creepy. But yeah, it's even got some nice step back art in here as well. So yeah, you can even have a little fun with this one. Yeah, definitely a pretty cool cover. Like I said, there is a lot of love and attention that went into that cover for sure, and it paid off a lot. But yeah, so that was my haul for February this month. Yeah, a lot, like I said, a lot of really neat titles with some wonderful artwork, some great stories to be found within. And overall, I think that was probably one of my best months. I know it's only been 2 months in, but I mean, even counting out of all of last year, I think this is probably one of my best hauls. So yeah, um, that's all of them. I want to thank you all for watching. I really appreciate it. Feel free to let me know which one of these is one of your favorite. What has your favorite artwork? What seems intriguing to you? And let me know down below. Feel free to leave a like, subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Thanks again, and happy reading. Bye.